efficient, standardised, controllable. I'm freezing. Hi. I've come down with Sean. We're going to ask the young people of Cardiff if they know where money comes from.
Let's find out what they say.
I'm freezing! This video is just the first in a short interview. Direct democracy is a system of government that would be a major upgrade to the representative democracy that we currently have here in the UK. It essentially means that instead of just voting for one political party every 5 years, we, the voting citizens of Britain, would get to vote directly on important decisions about things like expensive road, railway or airport projects, drugs, abortion, Trident, the death penalty and a host of other decisions that politicians currently make on our behalf, but we get to have very little say about.
Where does money come from?
Where does money come from?
Hard work.
16-year-old trees, isn't it?
Where would you say money comes from in the first place?
Well, money is just a concept.
I don't know much about,
Okay.
where it comes from in the long run.
I'd say mum.
Mum.
Yeah, definitely mum.
Money is just a concept that we create to spend stuff with what we see as wealth.
There is a growing worldwide interest in direct democracy, and introducing it in Britain would be a huge 21st century democratic upgrade that would put far more power into the hands of each of us. But as every Spider-Man fan knows,
with great power comes great responsibility.
badly informed decisions made by badly educated voters could potentially lead to some disastrous outcomes. And so for direct democracy to work successfully, we'd need to have a huge 21st century upgrade to our education system. It's an education revolution that would need to be driven by parents, children and teachers, and not by politicians with their own short-term interests at heart. The education revolution that we would need is a vast subject, so this video is just the first of a short series that begins to look at the viability of a total revamp to our education system, what it could look like and the huge benefits it could bring to all of us. But first, in this video it's important to take a brief look at our current system, the good stuff and the, well, the not so good stuff. But as every good Spider-Man fan knows, I'm so cold, my hands are really cold, I'm cold, it's freezing. I'm cold. It's cold. I'm really cold. It's freezing. I'm really cold. The main purpose of my... Oh, it's cold. Sorry. The main purpose of any education system that the state would have a vested interest in should be to help all of us to gain the knowledge, skills, experience and understanding that allows us to contribute to society and not to become a burden on society. To contribute to the national economy rather than becoming a burden on the economy. The aim of a state-backed education system should be to help each of us to become so useful to the world around us that we become valuable. Valuable enough to support ourselves and our families without needing help from the state. At least that's the theory. In reality, politicians can't resist the urge to fiddle with the education system. At best, they try to micromanage and control a system that they frankly don't have the experience or qualifications for. At worst, they meddle with the education system to benefit their own political agendas rather than the best interests of the children and parents.
If a 16-year-old was to come to you and ask you where money comes from, what would you say?
I don't know.
Not your parents.
I don't really know, to be honest.
The job.
Probably the bloody government.
So what about the good stuff? First good thing. Generally speaking, our teachers are incredible. Absolutely incredible. I hold our teachers in the highest regard and rank their intentions and efforts alongside the emergency services and healthcare professionals. Nobody goes into teaching and sticks with it because of the huge salaries and gentle, life-balancing workload. No, that's not, it doesn't exist. Most teachers are drawn to the profession by a heartfelt desire to make a difference in the world, to educate and empower the next generation.
Where do you think money comes from?
Not sure.
You earn it?
Working.
It doesn't really, does it? It's just human-made substance, really.
No, whoever makes the mint gets printed. In London, wherever it is.
The second good thing is that our childhood education is free of charge, at least technically. In reality, it's not free at all. It costs the government around £9,500 per child per year to provide that free education. And of course, that money, well, it comes from tax that we paid in the first place. But even so, so far so good. What's the real problem? Well, first, our current education system was introduced around the time of the Industrial Revolution, when the joys of mass production burst into life and products were created by putting raw materials in at one end of a factory full of machines and identical finished products dropped out at the other end. Efficient, standardized, controllable. If anything came out different, it was either thrown out as a reject or recycled back into the system until it came out identical to the others. Just the way it was supposed to. In education terms, children were disciplined into obediently lining up to march into school at one end, standardized clothes, ordered by age and originally by gender as well, and then they were pushed through the education production line to be shaped, molded, manufactured until the products dropped out at the other end, tagged with a grade to indicate the quality of the end product. In essence, how valuable the system decided that you were. It begins to look at the variety, the total blah 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 blah. It would need to, no, you're too fast. So what's the real problem? The real problem is I'm freezing my right royal nunus off, standing here in almost sub-zero temperatures. Our education system today has come along in leaps and bounds since those early days, but it's still solidly based on a model that was developed and introduced around the time that steam trains were invented. The short version. Our education system needs a 21st century upgrade. Second problem. In a state-controlled education system, politicians can't help meddling with it in pursuit of their own political agendas. Curriculums may be influenced by teachers, but ultimately politicians have the final say and the ultimate control. Generations of political meddling has led to a system today where teacher morale is at an all-time low, and that's a very dangerous thing. An education system is nothing without its teachers. If you kill off the teachers, you kill off the education system. The short version. Our education system needs to be separated from the control of meddling politicians who hold teachers back from doing what they do best.
Grows on trees.
Grows on trees.
Yeah, I think that's what my brother thinks it does anyway.
Where does money generate in the first place? Is it
Working. You have to work for it. You have to, earn it.
What would you say to the question of how is wealth created in the first place?
I don't know. Some people are lucky that it sort of gets given to them, gets handed down to them.
From the economy? Yeah, I don't know.
This leads me to the third point. Who do teachers really work for? Or to put an even finer point on it, who do teachers actually answer to? Is it the children? The parents? The head teacher? The PTA? The board of governors? The local authority? Ofsted? Or is it ultimately whichever political party happens to be in power? And even worse, whoever happens to be appointed to be the education secretary? It should be parents and children. End of story. Everybody else should be servants of the parents whose taxes pay the salaries of every single teacher, civil servant and politician. In this regard, the current system is upside down and back to front. Too often, the politicians think they have all the power to command and control the teachers, the schools, and the parents. Have any of you parents out there tried to take your children out of school for a family holiday during term time recently? No. See, now who's the real boss? Who works for who? Isn't the customer supposed to be king? Aren't the parents supposed to be in charge of the children's education? Yeah, don't get me started. Short version. Our teachers need to be empowered to answer to and help parents and children. First, last, end of story.
Where do you believe money comes from?
The sky.
The sky.
Bank.
The bank.
Royal Bank of England.
Like, how do you think wealth is created?
Oh, please don't ask me this. I don't know.
Where do I think money comes from?
Generally.
But yeah, that's quite a hard question.
It is.
Number 4. We already live in a democratic society where every time we have an election, it becomes painfully obvious that most young people don't get involved and don't even vote. Political disillusionment and economic indifference seems to be widespread amongst young people. It appears that they have no interest in politics and a very thin understanding of our national economy. The current education system does not prepare our young people with a solid enough basic understanding of politics and economics to prepare them to vote when they turn 18. Imagine what disasters would happen in the upgraded scenario of a direct democracy when every intelligent, educated, carefully considered vote really mattered. Short version. Our education system needs to give our children an engaging first-hand experience in the raw fundamentals of economics and politics. My eyes are starting to water and I can't see the teleprompter. My hands are cold, my hands are cold, my hands are cold. The fifth and final problem that I'm going to touch on. Our current education system is driven by a mechanical state-controlled curriculum rather than natural, organic human curiosity. We learn most powerfully when driven by curiosity in a highly flexible learning environment. But our current system has very little flexibility. Politicians, civil servants and academics decide what they regard as the most important educational subjects, and more importantly, hide away the ones they don't want us to know too much about. Here in Wales, for example, it's compulsory for every child to learn Welsh for 90 minutes per week, but how much time is compulsory for politics or economics? 0. Short version. A 21st century education system needs to be powered by organic human curiosity, not a mechanical state-controlled curriculum.
Oh my god, I don't know. That's like...
That's a tricky one.
It's like a weird question.
A printer.
Because I could give you several different answers for that.
Companies, organisations.
Where do you think money comes from?
The government.
Where do I think money comes from?
Yeah. What?
From a machine.
Well, I suppose the government.
Again, I'm just scratching the surface of this subject. There's so much more to cover. In the next video, I'll be taking a closer look at how we learn as organic humans, not robotic machines. And I'm also going to look at when we learn. I'll be looking at the way we need to shift from a childhood-only education system to a culture and system of lifelong learning that's freely available to everybody. Okay, I'm done. But listen, before you go, could you help me with one little thing? Direct democracy is for people who support every political party, not just one, and I'm trying to keep track of whether I'm reaching a balanced audience from across the political spectrum. So would you mind leaving a comment below to let me know which political party most closely represents your political views? In essence, who do you support? Thanks for watching. The next video will be in 2 weeks because I have a day job. I don't get paid for these videos. I'm not even getting the work done that I'm supposed to be doing. So thanks very much for watching. 2 weeks until the next one. Tune in next time. Please subscribe.